I'm Frank Ruchala. I'm the Deputy Director for Zoning at the Department of City Planning. The Zoning Division, we're really responsible for the zoning resolution, both kind of understanding it, interpreting it, but also kind of how we change it over time. One of the things that's sort of interesting about the way we do planning in New York City is that the zoning resolution really is the guiding document for planning here. It's not true of that in other American cities. And so, it's changing effectively every 2 weeks by some little bit. With CQA, hundreds of pages are changing, sometimes maybe a single sentence is added. Everything we do goes through public review, right? If we try to change the words in this book, we have to go talk about it with community boards, borough presidents, elect council members. What I effectively do is then kind of oversee the zoning division, which is about 12 people. It's a fun mix of architects, lawyers, planners, because in a way all of those kinds of interests or things are kind of important to zoning. It's sort of, you need to understand that when you're writing a sentence it will have effects on the size of a building. You need to understand that writing a sentence would have effects on how that building could be used. One of the things that we are very proud of in the zoning division is that we recently just published the new version of the Zoning Handbook. When we would talk to people, community board members, borough presidents, staff, even our own commissioners, there was a desire for more information, right? More context. Why were the zoning rules the way that they were? And so we really took the opportunity to try to hearing that and wanting to kind of give people who get involved in kind of land use and zoning changes in their neighborhoods the ability to kind of understand more of what this is, rather than trying to read the obtuse thousands of pages of the zoning resolution, but give people an opportunity to understand it and why are the rules the way that they are. We really want to make sure that the public who are really trying to engage in these planning discussions that we have can have something that they can use as a kind of guidepost of like, this is what zoning is. We wrote these sort of examples and kind of little stories about how zoning shapes a new building, how zoning can change under this idea that someone could kind of see things in their neighborhood and kind of see how that process is, how zoning is really shaping or kind of playing a role in that. Our job is both to help oversee the zoning resolution, but also help explain the zoning resolution to people and why the zoning resolution is important. And so I think that this book is really like kind of attempt to kind of culminate that and kind of make all of this, thousands of pages something that someone can engage with. When I was a kid, I knew I loved cities, and I remember when I first found out there was a job as you could be a city planner, and that's when I knew I was like, that's what I want to do. And so my background is in architecture and planning, and I've always felt that having both of those were really helpful to then do this job in zoning. It always makes sense that this is the job I would have had. It's kind of neat, right? It's like the oldest zoning resolution in the country. It's been, people write handbooks about it, people have conferences about it in New York, and that's something kind of neat. That kind of long history has been something that it's been fun to be a part of.